So in today's video, we're gonna explore the pros and cons and everything in between about living in Irving, Texas. The first good thing about Irving is it's pretty centrally located. You know, if you're a regular traveler, whether it be for business or pleasure, then you're gonna have the shortest commute to the DFW airport, as it's, perfectly situated just south of there. It'll take you about 15 minutes to get there, and it's literally within a few miles depending on where you live in Irving. And we all know it's a bit of contention when we're trying to get somebody to pick us up from the airport if you gotta go an hour away, but because of your proximity from living in Irving, you're just down the street, so that really shouldn't be a problem. Irving is also fairly close to downtown Dallas. It's just a 20-minute ride down 183, and that connects to Highway 35. And if you want to spend some time in, the northern parts of Dallas like Plano, Frisco, or Addison, it's about a 30-minute car ride from there just to enjoy some of those, shops and restaurants that are offered in those areas. Irving has a pretty good job market that employs a lot of people in that area, right? There are numerous Fortune 500 companies that call Irving home, such as Exxon, Kimberly-Clark, Envoy Air. FedEx also has their corporate office there, and several other big name companies. When I moved here back in 2015, I really saw Irving as a true tech hub. There's a lot of engineering jobs, computer software companies, and cybersecurity professionals that are located in that urban area. So it's, definitely an area you want to check out if you're going to be coming down to Dallas and, looking to start over or start with a new job in that tech space. So just, keep that in mind. So there's a lot of gated communities and golf courses located in and around Irving. The old Dallas Cowboys Stadium used to be over there. So of course, with the Dallas Cowboys in the area, prime time, Emmitt Smith, Troy, and the Reverend himself, Mr. Michael Irvin, then you're gonna have, several neighborhoods around there that many of them used to live in, right? You can only imagine they would want to be pretty close to where they were going to play at, to be there close to the stadium, to be there close to the practice areas, and make it a quick trip for game days, because after a full 4 quarters, you're a little bit sore. Now, currently, not very many players live over there anymore. They moved on to bigger and better things. And since Jerry, built a new stadium out in Arlington, all that kind of allures kind of left that area. But Irving is definitely full of parks, hiking trails. There's really a lot of outdoor activities in that urban area. So if you're the outdoorsy type, you'll definitely want to keep that on the list. Now, one of the most unique aspects I found in the downtown area of Irving is the Mandalay Canals. They're a charming part of Las Colinas, which is, the northern part of Irving. They're inspired by the canals in Venice, Italy. The Mandalay Canals are an iconic reminder of the visionary we had here, Mr. Ben Carpenter, who wanted to bring that wow factor to his home state. You can literally take a gondola ride with food and wine served, for a nice romantic date night with that, special somebody. The canals feed right into Lake Caroline, which is a beautiful body of water situated right in the city center. So surrounding this area are a bunch of shops, restaurants, bars, and residential communities, as well as the newly constructed Toyota Music Factory, which is the host of concerts, entertainers like WizKid, Chris Rock, Florence and the Machine, Jack Harlow, City Girls, and Jamie Foxx, just to, name a few off the top of my head. Like I mentioned before, this area is very close to really everything you want to. If you want to jump downtown, if you want to go to Victory Park, which is in the middle of downtown where the Dallas Mavericks play, it's all just right there at your fingertips. Irving is also well known for its affordable housing. Even with the crazy prices we saw during the last couple of years, if you're looking for something that is not as expensive, than downtown Dallas or even Plano or Frisco, then Irving is going to be a great alternative because it's a lower price point for the time being, at least. We've seen a tremendous amount of influx coming in from California, New York, Illinois, and Washington State. So that has started to increase the prices slightly, but for the current moment, it's still pretty affordable over in this area. So Irving is known as one of the most diverse communities, and it's actually ranked as the #2 most diverse suburbs in all of Dallas-Fort Worth, and one of the most diverse cities in all the US as well. With a healthy mix of different cultures, cuisines, religions, and occupations, this city is perfectly suited for newcomers looking to touch down for the first time in Dallas. So if you're looking for, a little bit of culture and you're looking for that diversity, then Irving is definitely the place to be for you. All right, so what are some of the downsides to Irving? And these come straight from some of the people that I know who live there and absolutely love Irving and the Las Colinas area. You know, for me, I love being able to give you the perspective of the people who are actually living the day-to-day in that area, someone who spent the time there, and especially someone who absolutely loves it. You know, whenever they tell you the downsides, that's always a good thing to know, right? So a few of my longtime clients have mentioned that the downside to living in Irving is that, you know, there's a lack of high-end retailer shopping. So if that's something that you like to do on a regular basis, that may be a drawback for you. And it's kind of somewhat expected with the lower cost of living and lower home prices in that area. It doesn't really garner the attention of high-end retailers. So if that's something you're looking for, you're gonna need to venture on to Addison or downtown Dallas or, downtown Fort Worth. You can shoot up to Frisco, or, South Lake also has some pretty nice, high-end retails. Another con for the area is there is a, developing school system. The Irving public school system is not well known for being, AAA rated. It runs more in line with like the B category, which is not bad, and that's something else you definitely want to check out before you call this city home. Just, make sure you understand exactly what those schools are being rated for, because you might even find that where these maybe lower scores are coming in may be on stuff that's not that important to you. So it really just depends. You really need to just look it up to make sure that you understand what measures are important to you in your hierarchy on that scale. Was it attendance? Is it, grades? Is it that sort of thing, et cetera, et cetera? And make sure that those are all falling in line, because it actually could still be in a great district. Different schools throughout Irving are going to have different weightings, so you can always check. And, we can do home searches based on the school district as well. So if that's something that's really important to you and you want to be, in that area, then we can set up a home search based on that school district, and we can be extremely concentrated and narrow in on what you're looking for specifically. So they also mentioned that, there's a lack of fine dining options, right? So again, with the lower cost of living and home prices, this doesn't really garner a lot of fine dining, and probably a lot of that has moved out since the Cowboys Stadium shifted away. It's been well over a decade since the Cowboys moved out of Irving, so that's probably when a lot of these finer restaurants moved out of the area as well. And then you add on top of that everything that happened in 2020, I think a lot of those establishments probably went under and weren't able to kind of come back. But again, South Lake is down the street, Frisco and Plano's not too far, so those are all great options within a close proximity for you to be able to have that, fine dining experience. Another downside to Irving is there's a lot of older homes and not a lot of new construction communities, right? Irving is a very well-established type of community. There are some tear downs and new builds, but as far as new construction master built communities, there aren't as many as some other areas. So homes are going to be in need of some major updates or remodels. A lot of those houses were built in the 80s and the 90s. So, homes during that time frame were built very cookie cutter, right? That type of construction, very little individuality. In those decades, it was really more about just get as many houses out as possible, save cost on time and the floor plans, and the design everywhere. So there's likely gonna be a lot of updates needed. I actually just had a client that bought one in the area, and sure enough, they turned around and put another $50,000 in to update and add on some, modern features. Even though you can still find some pretty good deals on homes, you have to consider what's going to fit your taste, right? What's going to work within your budget, especially if you're looking to do a renovation project. Another complaint was there's a significant amount of liquor stores. Now, hey, that's probably a good thing for convenience, especially if you enjoy your liquor and your wine. But at the same time, there are levels to liquor stores in Texas, right? We have some chains like Total Wine, and we have another one called Specs, which are like the target of liquor stores. And then you have your traditional mom and pop liquor stores, which are not, the best in regards to hangouts, and usually situated, by local gas stations or smaller commercial complexes. Irving has a lot more renters than they do owners, right? So, it's a place where people usually come to settle in temporarily until they're able to, find housing elsewhere. So again, if you're living in a neighborhood, you'll probably find several rentals in that community. Usually when you get into, gated communities, they probably have some type of covenants or restrictions by the HOA that are, limiting the amount of homes that can actually be rented out. It's usually a specific percentage that, must be adhered to, and the HOA would need to be informed if someone does decide to rent out their home. We did just shoot a whole vlog tour of Irving. If you want to check this out in the cards. And like I said, if you guys have any questions or you're thinking about moving in 9 days or 90 days, just give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, and we'd be happy to make it a smooth move for you down to the Dallas Metroplex. Again, my name is Mark, and I appreciate you guys. Hit that subscribe button, turn your notifications on as we drop new videos weekly, and I can't wait to see you around town.